without the knowledge of our government or the CIA, I went to Paris. We met with King Zahir Shah, the king of Afghanistan, who was living in exile with his family in Paris. We met with him to convince him to go back to Kabul, to Afghanistan. He made those heroic comments about we're going to get them. I took that as a patriotic American, said, yes, we're going to get them. But I was worried about what the Afghans might do as they did the Russian troops when they were in Afghanistan. So, Tucker, with Al Santoli, whom you know, and 2 other members of Congress, I privately, without the knowledge of our government or the CIA, I went to Paris. We met with King Zahir Shah, the king of Afghanistan, who was living in exile with his family in Paris. We met with him to convince him to go back to Kabul to convene a Loya Jirga of all the tribes, to convince them to accept the American troops before they went in, so it wouldn't be like they did with Russia. King Zahir Shah agreed to that. I'll give you the photographs, Tucker. And I had 2 members of Congress and Al Santoli with me, decorated Vietnam veteran. Zahir Shah went back. I did all I could to protect our American troops, not the CIA, our troops. Then I find out my intel team, those 20 people that were feeding me raw data, give me data within months after 9/11 that bin Laden's been sighted in a town called Laden. I have no idea where Laden is. So I go up Pennsylvania Avenue to a bookstore and buy a map. I just gave you the map here today, Tucker. You can show it. And I found Laden. It's not in Afghanistan. It's not in Pakistan. It's in Iran, in an area called Baluchistan. So I go to the next classified briefing for the full committee. Now, I'm the vice chairman of the full committee. There are 60 members. I'm the acting chairman at this time. So I said to the CIA, I have information that bin Laden's in Laden. This is their response to me. Mr. Chairman, we've heard similar reports. We can either confirm or deny them. I was in shock. I was in shock. We're sending kids to die in Afghanistan, and we can't confirm or deny whether or not bin Laden's in Laden? 3 months go by. I'm still supporting the president. My intel team comes back to me and say, Curt, he's being treated at a military hospital outside of Tehran. I go back to the classified briefing and I ask the question in front of the full committee. And the answer from the CIA is, Mr. Chairman, we've heard similar reports. We can either confirm or deny that bin Laden is being treated at a military hospital outside of Tehran while we're sending kids to die in Afghanistan. I said, this is outrageous. And then, Tucker, I get a call from Jack Murtha, the most respected Democrat in the House, former Marine, who I work with closely. And he says to me, I want you to meet with Ron Klink, Democrat from Pittsburgh. And Ron Klink's still alive. He'll verify this, Tucker. Jack's dead, but Ron's alive. He said, Jack has a person who used to work for the agency that has information about Iran. And you investigate this kind of stuff, Curt. Will you meet with him? I said, sure. Ron Klink comes to my office and brings this very tall man who's a former person from the Swedish area, but he's a U.S. citizen. And I said, how can I help you? You know, Congressman Murtha asked me to help. Ron Klink wants me to help. He said, Congressman, I want you to help me get into Iran. I said, why do you want to go to Iran? He said, that's where bin Laden is. I said, why would you tell me that bin Laden's in Iran? He said, I was a knock for the agency. Do you know what a knock is?
Yeah, non-official cover.
That's right. He said, I was a knock for the agency, and I worked that area. And my friends are seeing bin Laden in Iran. If you help me get to Tehran, I'll leave my identity there. I'll get a piece of him, dead or alive, and I'll bring it back. At the time, there was a $25 million reward for bin Laden. I said, I can't help you right now because I'm in a battle over this follow-up to 9/11. Then I get another call, Tucker, from the Interior Department, totally separate. They want to bring in their top bird man, their bird expert. I didn't think that was unusual because I was the Republican on the Migratory Bird Commission. The Migratory Bird Commission.
No, there was a
migratory. It oversees all the flyways for all the refuges up and down the coast. I was the Republican.
Duck hunters like me, thank you, by the way.
John Dingell was a Democrat.
Of course, I've duck hunted with him, yeah.
2 senators and 3 cabinet members. So I figured they want to talk about birds. I'm on the Bird Commission. I'll meet with them. So this Interior Department bird expert brings in a U.S. citizen from Maine who's a Sikh, but he's a U.S. citizen, very wealthy family. And he's got 2 falcons on his shoulders, $1 million birds with the blinders on, beautiful, into my office. I said, good boy, they're gorgeous. How can that be? He said, well, Congressman, I've devoted my life to falcons. He said, I helped write the UN protection treaties on falconry. He said, I trained all the children of the royal families in the sport of falconry.
Yes.
Because that's their sport. He said, they all know me. They all trust me. They
in
all
the
like
Arab
me.
world, it's huge.
Yes.
Yes.
He said, so, and I want to help the country, and there's a reward for bin Laden. I said, yeah, I know that. He said, I want you to help me go to Iran. I said, why do you want to go to Iran? Now, he knows nothing about anything else I'm doing. My falconers are seeing bin Laden's birds flying in Iran. You help me go to Iran, they'll accept me there because they know me. I'll tag his birds, and I'll take the U.S. to exactly where he is. That's four full source identities that bin Laden was exactly where my intel people said he was. Over the course of time, Tucker, I developed 10 silver bullets. They wanted to do a movie about me after they took me out, and I'll get to when they took me out. I got a call from Michael Scheuer. Michael was career CIA. After I was taken out of office, he called my home. He said, Congressman, do you remember me? I said, vaguely, Michael. He said, well, I was the chairman of the bin Laden task force in the CIA. And these people that have met with you have shown me documents I never saw when I was working in the agency. And I was the bin Laden task force director. He said, we want you to work with us. We want you to be involved in a movie we're doing. I said, Michael, after what they did to my family, I can't do it right now. I hung up the phone. I get a call from General McInerney. About 3 months later, Tom McInerney. He said, Congressman, you remember me? I said, yes, General, I remember you. He said, I'd like you to work with us, Congressman. I'm working with Michael Scheuer and the Falconer, and we want you to be involved. I said, I'm not getting involved after what they did to my family. They all had the same story, Tucker. So what was it happening in 2006? All my elections were landslides.
So I just want to get one more time to the question of who was hiding the fact that bin Laden was actually in Iran. And
Our intelligence agencies, they have plausible deniability. In the end, I have 10 silver bullets, including 2 royal family members from 2 different royal families, from 2 different countries, including, in the end, the person that was in the room, who was a knock for our government for 50 years. He's not from the U.S. He's become a friend of mine. He's been to my home. We've met dozens of times. And on one of my trips to the Middle East, he said to me, you know, he calls me, my dear, you were right. I said, about what? He said, about a lot of things. But you're right about bin Laden. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, he was placed in Iran, in Baluchistan. He said, I said, you know? He said, yes, I know that. He said, I was in the room when the deal was cut. So the U.S. has plausible deniability. They weren't in the room.
Was the point to get to Iraq?
The point was to manipulate, to get our troops committed, to go over to fight the battles in Afghanistan, Iraq, and that whole region of the world.
Yes.
And they had to have the justification to do that.
I believe it.
But in the end, when 5 years ago, and even Trump doesn't know this, I'm sure, we killed someone that Trump took great credit for, and I applaud him for it. And he said, we killed this guy.
Soleimani?
That's right. Soleimani was the guy the deal was cut with. The deal was not cut with the Iranian government. And we need to understand that. And this is the heart of what we have to get to. The Iranian people are not our enemy.